Listen to me, motherfucker. I'm talking. I say horrible things sometimes because I think they're funny. My podcast is a verbal mosh pit because it's just me pinwheeling around. You don't know where the fuck I'm going to wind up, and I generally have no idea when it's going to end or start. I'm responsible for this whole goddamn thing. I want a little respect from you people. Hey, what's happening, Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Lily went for my nose. I didn't let her get there. She was very close, and then she jumped back. I don't know why. What? Yes, that's exactly what I was going to do. I often gnaw on you during broadcasts. People can hear it. They can hear it all the time, where you can hear me chewing, and they're like, dude, why are you eating? And it's like, no, I'm working on Lily's cuticles. That's how I do it. That's how I pay her for her time. I just go ahead and give her like a mouth manicure. Or a manicure with mouth, because a mouth manicure, that seems even weirder. Like I'm trimming like your mustache and stuff. Do you get a mustache? You get that happening? No? Good for you. All right. I do. Not so much now. I'm all shaved, although I cut my cheekbone today shaving, which is so I look like I got punched. But you see right there, you got the same. It's funny, you got the same kind of thing on your cheekbone. Did you? Were you shaving your mustache? Oh, you don't have that. I forgot. I already asked. All right, hi, folks. It's Mike Schmidt, and I'm excited to be here. Why wouldn't I be? It's July. No, it's not. It's June. But it's soon to be July. Good Lord, this is going nowhere. Start over. Start this whole fucking thing over. I'm ill. I apologize, folks. I'm coming to you with a bit of a flip-floppy stomach, like an upside-down kind of a stomach. Because here's what happened. Lily was like, she's sick too. Okay, so she called me. She's like, oh my God, I'm sick. On your way over here, can you get me 7-Up? And I said, sure. Do you want a big bottle, a 2-liter bottle? What do you want? She's like, no, just whatever you get. And I'm like, okay. So are you putting the plug on your knee? Is the plug hot? Oh, it's like a hot pack on your knee. Okay. Lily's got a bad wheel, folks. I think we've talked about this, and she's actually picked up. That can't be good. You're going to get cancer in your knee now, right? Isn't that like weird electronic?
It's just heat.
No, it's electro heat. That's not the same as heat.
It's the same thing.
No, bullshit. That's like weird cell phone tumor in your brain heat, and that's going to fuck up your knee. Your cyst popped. You're going to bring it back now with this crazy plug. Folks, when you get an Apple, you get a gigantic square plug that looks like a Klondike bar, but it's hot. And she's putting it on her knee to try to warm her knee up. And I just think you're shooting evil right into your leg. That's not good. That's what those are. Those plugs they're shooting evil out into the world, and now you are directing it right into your bad knee. Your knee's got enough evil in it. You should actually, you know what you should do? You should cut it open with a penknife and put a straw in there and drain it on your own. All right. That's what you should do. Because I can do it. I can give you a tracheotomy. I know how to do that. I had a subscription to Maxim for a year, and they pretend to teach you how to be a man. So I actually know how to give you a field tracheotomy, that thing where you cut the little hole in the throat and you put like a juice box straw in your neck. Yeah, okay. I look forward to that happening. I walk around with that knowledge. I am armed with that knowledge at all times, praying somebody chokes so I can give them a field tracheotomy with. And I don't even have like a knife or anything. What I could possibly use? A credit card? I can use a Visa card. I just punch a hole in your neck. Although I've used them so much that the corners are dulled. I mean, from swiping through that little machine. But I'm sick, folks. I'm ill in the belly because when I stopped, all right, I had to take vitamins before I left my house. Folks, I'm on a vitamin program. I think I might have told you that. And these vitamins have done. Here's what they've done. They've bolstered my confidence. They've increased my virility, from what I understand. And they have also done something to my hair to where it is impenetrable to bullets or sunlight. It is the strongest head of hair I think I've ever had in my life. It is. Touch it, please. It's springy and it is full. It is. I've always had thick hair anyway, to the point where Max actually put up a picture of me from my high school yearbook on his wall, and people were like, "Now that's hair." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I have that hair still. I just don't grow it." Well, now I've been growing it, and you know who I look like, folks? I look like Jesse Eisenberg. I don't look like him, but my hair looks like his. Jesse Eisenberg looks like Mark Pruitt, who's a kid I went to high school with. But my hair looks like Jesse Eisenberg's hair. If you see, he's the kid from Zombieland. If you don't know who he is, he was the kid from Zombieland, and I have his hair now. And again, hair was a sign of virility, right? Growing up, or not growing up, back in the Middle Ages. I don't know if it was when I was in the 70s and 80s. I don't know if it was so much a sign of virility. Although I can tell you what it is now. It's a sign that you should get a fucking haircut. I can tell you that because I don't know what sign I'm waiting for, quite frankly. A fucking barber pole to grow right out of my fucking head. I have no idea. But it is time to get a goddamn haircut. But I don't care. I'm refusing. I'm letting it grow. I won't. I won't cut it till San Francisco. How does that? And I'll go up there and have some gay guy tart it up for me just before I go on stage. Maybe that's the one-man show. Maybe I change it around. Maybe I have a guy give me a haircut on stage. That's what I do. I let my hair grow crazy long, and I have some guy Samson me right there in the fucking stage while I'm trying to deliver stories from this goddamn show. I think that's the plan, goddammit. And then because you guys will all pay to get in and see me get a haircut. Oh, how great is this? You know what? That's it. Done. This idea is finished. And we'll call it. What can we call it? Feathering is not an option, or I don't know. We got to figure out. I don't know. I can't, there's no name for hairstyles. Like, is it mustaches? Like a Van Dyke and a goatee. A mullet is not an option. There you go. Perfect. Not since I was a kid. Oh my God, when I was a mullet. Oh, dude, I had a crazy mullet. I should find those photos. There's pictures of me with like hair past my shoulders, and then of course, but very much business in the front. Dude, I have thick hair. All right. So what was I talking about? Being sick. I'm ill. Here's how ill I am, folks, as I bring this to you. Because Lily wanted a 7-Up, so I stopped at a fine establishment here called 7-Eleven, because I figured, hey, if they got a 7 in the title, they got to have 7-Up, right? That just seems, they'll probably make it in the back. So I walk in to get a 7-Eleven 7-Up, and I'm taking the vitamins. So I have to take vitamins, but I have to eat something when I take vitamins. Otherwise, apparently, the vitamins have nothing to ride on to their designated locations in my body. I've mentioned before that your vitamins turn into like a big A-team there, and then they disperse. Well, apparently, you have to eat something so it can function as the A-team van, and then they ride in it to all your various muscle groups. But I had nothing in my stomach, so then it's like waiting at a bus stop when the bus never comes. My vitamins would have just dissolved in my stomach, and then I would have a super strong vitamin-filled stomach, but then the rest of my body would have suffered. So what I needed to do was I needed to eat something, so it gave my food a bus to catch to all the designated parts where it's supposed to strengthen me and make me a better person. So I go ahead and I stop at 7-Eleven, and they don't have food. Really, at 7-Eleven? They do, but it's not good food. But I don't fucking care. I'm in a hurry, and I got to get moving. And I was a skosh late. What time is it now? It's about 5:30. No, 5:53. Good Lord. Time is flying. But I got here at, 4? 4:15? 4:30? Something like that. I don't know. And then we just sat here, and we talked about Lily and her family. A story I'd be happy to bring to you right now, but I won't. So I said, I got to get something on the run. I got to get something quick. Because you know what I hate, folks? I hate eating in the car. I do not like eating in my car. I don't like eating while driving. I don't like anything about it. But I knew if I got something fast that I could hold in my hand and wolf down, then that'd be, first of all, not smart because it would be awful. But it would give my vitamins something to look forward to as they met a friend in the middle of my stomach and then went for a ride. So I said, all right, I'm at 7-Eleven, and there's plenty of options there. But what I went with, folks, here's what I went with. Monterey Jack chicken taquito. That's what I went with. And as we all know, you should not ever buy the hot food at 7-Eleven because God knows how long it's been on the grill. I think this Monterey Jack chicken taquito has been on the grill. It's been there longer than Monterey Jack was actually a cheese. I think Monterey Jack was the name of the guy who put it on the grill. And then it just so happened in the ensuing years they've invented a cheese called Monterey Jack, and that's why it seemed to match up. So I bought this thing, and I got to tell you, I don't know if you've had a 7-Eleven taquito, folks. Again, I'm well professed in eating garbage, have been my entire life, but this was a special brand of garbage. This was like, you know what it was like to me, especially because it had the top. The top has like a weird like wrapping hole, and then there's like a thing sticking out of it. You know what it looked like, folks? I'm not gonna lie to you. It looked like they put cheese and cumin on a dog cock and heated it up. I mean, it was fucking horrendous. And that's just in appearances. And then I ate it, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely, dog cock. I've never had a dog cock in my mouth, but I've got to tell you that if you were to put cheese and cumin on it, it would taste a lot like what I fucking wolfed down to Vitamin Town today, goddammit. And so much so that I think even my vitamins, when it showed up, my vitamins all backed up against what's left of my stomach and went, no thanks, we'll walk. That's what my vitamins did. They're like, we don't need a ride on with this fucking crazy chewed up dog cock. We'll hang out right here and try to get the next bus that comes through. Even though it's not going to be coming through for a while, folks. I'm doing a show. I don't eat during a show. Why would I do that? Except for Lily's cuticles. Maybe they grab on those. Maybe the vitamins go ahead, leap onto Lily's cuticles, and find their way throughout my body and find out where they're supposed to goddamn go, leaving the fucking chewed up dog cock in my stomach to lurk. Oh man, and it is in there. It is again. It's like a Play-Doh fist in my stomach right now. Oh God, is it horrible? Just a salty, cheesy mess. Jesus Christ! It just. Oh, yeah, I'm ill. I'm a little not ill, just not right. That's all. I'm just not right. I'm a little queasy from that thing, I guess. Is that that's a word, right? Queasy. If it's not, I've invented it to describe how I feel, because that's a perfect word for how I feel right now. I can tell you that. And I'm no stranger to bad food, as we all know, folks. I've told you, and even recently, unfortunately, I've look. We all know about my experiences at the taco truck. I enjoy the taco truck. I've been. And I'll eat tripa when I'm there, which is cow stomach, which is really good. As you all know, it's crunchy. Just don't look at it in the light. Uh, taco truck food you must consume in the dark. But it's summer, so again, hey, the taco truck is back in our rotation. Karen and I want to go to it, so Karen and I go to the taco truck over the weekend, and there was a guy ahead of me in line, and we found a new taco truck that makes homemade tortillas. Oh, dude, so good. But then it was weird. Like this taco truck had like a baby taco truck with it, like it had a friend, which I thought they were competing, but I don't know if they were really competing. But it's perfect for Karen because this one taco truck we've been to, it's Daniel's Tacos. I don't know who Daniel is. Certainly doesn't sound like a Mexican name, but that's fine. But it's definitely Hispanic people running it and making, like I said, making fresh corn tortillas. Oh, dude, so good. But then they have Daniel's Tacos, but then like parked right in front of it, it's like Danielito's Quesadillas. This guy's got just a quesadilla truck. Well, we've been to Daniel's Tacos before, and we've ordered quesadillas, and Karen did not like them. She's like, "Oh, dude, I don't know if she talked like me, but she's like, yeah, it's she didn't go, oh, dude, but she's like, ew, I don't like this quesadilla." So we have we've gone from taco truck to taco truck. Like we've gone to Daniel's Tacos and gotten tacos, and then had to drive to her taco truck to get a quesadilla. Oh God, folks, don't get fat. So. And I am fat. And I, by the way, that was pointed out to me this weekend very clearly because I went to a christening. Oh, no, it was a second birthday party. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was a kid. It was one of those functions with a child where he's too small to be having a party, but they have one anyway. So my buddy Paul had his party and with his son, who was huge. Because the last time I went, I think, was the christening. And then now I'm there for his second birthday party, and he's a fucking gigantic kid. It's crazy. And awesome. And kids are awesome at their, again, I will tell you this, when kids are small, they don't have any filter and no idea of what to do. So I think it's great when you have a party and you put a cake in front of them, they just bash their hands into it. That's perfect. Little kids are like Wolverines. You know what I mean? They have no behavior code. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And this was brought clearly into sharp relief when we got plates of food, Karen and I, and we went and sat in the yard. And, little blonde kid comes walking up. He goes, "Hi." And I don't know this kid. And I go, "Hey, how are you?" And he sits next to us. He was probably 4. And they had a Hawaiian shaved ice truck there. So, like, he had this huge fucking shaved ice, and he's eating it. And we're eating regular food, Karen and I. And we asked his name, and his name was Ethan. I'm like, "Hi, Ethan. I'm Mike. This is Karen." "Hi." He's just eating shaved ice, little kid. And then another little kid comes walking up with Crocs on, little Croc-wearing kid. And he goes, "Ethan, can I sit down?" And Ethan goes, "Yeah." And so he sits down next to me. So there's 4 seats at this table, and it's me and Karen and these 2 children. And it turns out they're brothers. Ethan and Raymond? I don't remember his name. I don't know. The important part is Karen was like, "Oh, man, can you get me some more sauce?" Because they had Filipino food. It was like really good. So Karen's like, "Can you go in and get this for me?" I said, "Yeah, I will." So I stand up and I go, "Can I get you guys anything?" To Ethan and his brother. And Ethan goes, "You're fat." And I went, "Kinda." And his little brother looks up and goes, "Yeah, you're fat." And I said, "Absolutely." And Karen goes, you guys shouldn't say that to Mike." And I go, "No, it's okay." I go, "They're right." I go, "You can't tell them they're not right." Again, that's the verbal equivalent of putting your hands in the cake. You just fucking tell a guy he's fat. And I've had it done before. It's happened in supermarkets. When I was really fat, it happened all the time. But I don't care. I think, quite frankly, they should be allowed to say that. I mean, because you know what? I'm fat. When you're a kid, there are no rules. There are no laws. You should never be subject to the rules of polite society when you're a child, because it's the only time in your life you will get to not be polite and have it excused. It's the only time in your life you can do whatever you want and have it explained away with, "Oh, man, I'm a kid." I mean, absolutely, you're a kid. Trust me, I'm trying it now, and it's not working. I say whatever the fuck I want, and unfortunately, there's a cross to bear, and there's explanations to be made, and apologies to compose. But if you're 4 and 2 and you're sitting at a table with a fucking thing of Hawaiian shaved ice and a fat guy walks up, just look at him and go, yeah, you're fat. But my favorite part was his brother actually pondering it. Like, because he goes, you're fat. And I go, kind of. And his little brother looks up and goes, yeah, you're fat. Almost as if it was on the table for discussion. As if there was some sort of, like his brother was, excuse me, I need to raise a point here, Senator. He's fat. Yeah, he's fat. They were negotiating. And it turned out, yeah, I was fat. So I walked off to go get, and of course, when you're fat, by the way, by all means, go in and get another plate of food for your wife. So then I walked in and I got food for her, and I came back out, and they got real quiet when I came to the table. And I went, did you yell at them? And she goes, well, I told them they shouldn't say that to Mike. And I said, well, but they can say it. I don't mind. And she goes, well, no, I told them they understand now. They know that it's not polite. I go, they shouldn't have to be polite. I'm fat. They're right. They win. I respect that. That's fine. I mean, if they said it to her, like you're ugly or you're mean, then it would suck. Then I'd be pissed. But say whatever you want to me. Who cares? Believe me, I'm your verbal pinata for the day. Go ahead and have at me. I don't care. I think it's hysterical. But don't be surprised if I lean in and whisper in your ear, hey, you're fucking stupid. Let's see how a kid deals with that. Hey, I'm going to fucking kill your mom. What if I did that? How about if I lean forward and say, because again, we're all on an equal playing field. They can tell me that I'm fat. I can tell them that I'm going to kill their mom. There you go. Boom. We're all getting along. God damn it, we're friends at this point. It's unvarnished talk. It's straight talk with me and a 2 and a 4-year-old. That's right. They want to tell me I'm fat. They're correct about that. Absolutely. Will I kill their mom? They don't know whether I will or I won't. All they know is I'm willing to say it, and that should be enough in their 4-year-old world. And Karen's like, don't say that so loud. I'm like, no, why don't I say that to them? I should go. And they're just, but I will, she scared them into, not into submission, but they were very, quiet at that point. I was sad. I'm like, come on, dudes. Because we were having a good time before that. Before the elephant in the room was literally the elephant in the room. Before they exposed the elephant in the room by calling him the elephant in the room, we were having a great time. Oh, disappointing. A nice spiral into that. Oh, man, in the Hawaiian shaved ice truck. This is going to be... All right, so... look, their whole deal is predicated on the fact that they're trying to trick you into thinking about shaved pussy. All right, I get that.
Really?
Because the name of their company is Get Shaved. All right? It's like... And so they're not fooling anybody, but they had this beaten down fucking crazy truck, and it's all families and kids, and they're all like, this is really good Hawaiian ice, and I'm looking at the card, I'm like, all right, is anybody going to point this out, really? And then even worse, I got to the front of it, and hot young blonde 18-year-old, and look, California is just filthy with hot young blondes. Okay, I mean that's just. It's like rainwater in Calcutta. I mean, you can't. The gutters run rife with hot young blondes in Southern California. But then there's those ones where you see and you just go, oh man, does my dick hurt? God damn it! Because you get that horrible feeling of I'm never gonna get to fuck that girl ever in a million years. Not even. You would have to be like a crazy millionaire, and then rent the truck and then just for yourself. Yes, I thought of a plan. Believe me, the whole time I was in line waiting to get Hawaiian shaved ice, I was formulating a plan of how I could bang the blonde chick who was running the fucking Hawaiian shaved ice truck. Because there was a dude in there, and he was I think he might have even been her dad. He was an older guy, and I don't know if they do this at parties on the weekend. I shouldn't even give the company name because now they're gonna if somebody knows them, they're gonna call them and holy fuck. But my buddy Paul gives me the card and it's Get Shaved. And I'm like, oh, nobody's going to point. And then I get to the front, and, oh, man, here's why, again, there's tons of hot blondes, but she had eyes. That thing where because, again, she's in a truck. So, I mean, I can't even really see most of it. I only saw, from about the waist up, but she's bent over at the waist, putting, pineapple sugar syrup into a thing of ice. And then she's got to form the ice with her hands, all right? Because the thing is, the shaved ice, I don't know if you've ever had shaved ice. Basically, they fill a styrofoam container with what looks like a fucking gigantic, the bottom of a snowman. All right, it's that big. And then they have to manipulate it with their hands, and then they pour juice on it, and somehow it shrinks down to the size of the head of the snowman. I mean, it's like somehow it goes away. But they put all this shaved ice in this thing, and then she's got to mold it with her hands. And then you're at the point where you're just like, hey, could you? I mean, just make it look like a giant dick, seriously, because that would. And then continue to mold it until it melts. That's what I want to watch you do. I just want to watch you mold ice with your hot blonde hands. Could you do that for me? And again, there's children running around. There's 2 kids telling me I'm fat. All this stuff is happening, but I don't care because there's the fucking the shaved ice princess and trapped in the truck. And oh my! But she was like, she had beautiful eyes. She had this is gonna sound weird. I don't know if the description will be there. She had like smoky gray eyes, like, which is unbelievable when you and she looks up, and again, she doesn't know. She's just helping suburban dads get their fucking pineapple snack for their kids. But instead, she winds up looking at me, and I didn't even know what to say. And I swear to God, I walked up because you don't have to pay or tip or anything. And she looks up and she goes, "Hey, can I help you?" And I went, "Oh man!" Like, I actually said that. Because when she made eye contact and I saw her teeth were perfect, because again, she's buried in the truck, and I sort of saw her. She was just like a hot-looking ghost. It was like she was a really hot ghost floating through the truck ethereally, but then when I got close and I got to see that she was a real person, you know what it would be like? It would be like if you were looking at someone through an opaque window, and then you wiped the rain off of it and you saw their face clearly, and you're like, oh, they're beautiful. Well, when I get to the truck, I just went, oh, man. Because, again, it just hurt me right in the balls. Because, again, it's just another chick I'm not going to bang. It's just another chick that I'm never going to get to fucking bang. Not that I had a shot. Not that I even had a chance. Although, again, I formulated my great plan of being a millionaire and then renting the truck for my own party and then having her come in and make me shaved ice and then form it like a cock. But anyway, she's like, can I get you this? And I'm just like, oh, man. And she goes, excuse me? I go, nothing. I just need pineapple and lime one, and then I'm getting one for Karen, like root beer. I got a root beer one. And she turns around and has to bend over to get the root beer syrup, and she's wearing jeans shorts, and oh, Jesus Christ. I'm just like, to the point where you just want to volunteer. You're like, hey, can I help you make some, you know what I mean? That weird small talk because you don't know what to do. And it's awkward. And every dad was feeling it. Every dad was there with his wife and his kids. But every one of us, when you would get the shaved ice and there was a line and we were all kind of in the yard, I got it. They would turn around and they would look at you, they would make that eye contact with you like, there's another one we're never going to get the fuck. Like, they all knew it. Every man knew it. I'm the only one with balls enough to say it, okay? But every guy knew it because they felt it. You feel it right above your fucking balls, right at the base of your cock, where you just that weird. You know what it's like? It's like if you ever been riding a bike and hit a bump, and it drives up into your ass or your scrotum, and you feel that like sharp, like, oh Jesus. That's the feeling you get when you see some crazy hot chick that calls you sir and has no interest, because we've expired, folks. We are. Our code dates are way past. We're yogurt. We're human yogurt at this point. We're not virile milk. We're not ready for. We're fucking yogurt. That's what we are. God damn it. As men, we have our seed has completely expired. Everything is finished. It's finished. It's over. This is the autumn of our life. And when you see someone who hasn't even entered the springtime of their life, and you're just like, man, can't I corrupt you with my horrible touch? Is there any way that I could drag you into my life to make it better and make yours worse? Could I do that? Is that going to be something that I could possibly... Seriously, reach out to me from your goddamn... anything. Hand me my stuff so I can accidentally touch your finger. That's who I am. I'm Lecter. I'm fucking Lecter in the goddamn cage of my life. And just on the outside, there's Clarice Starling with my drawings, and I can't wait for her to hand them to me so I can touch your finger. That's all I want to do is touch her goddamn finger. That's what it was like. So that's who I am. I'm Lecter in the cage that my life is, and all I want to do is reach out the bars and touch fucking Clarice's finger.
You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy, and coming up, who would win in a fight? A spirited back and forth about hypothetical back and forths. We got 1-1 very early in the show. That's great, because you took Spoiled Milk and I took a bottled fart in that fight.
You're right.
And you took Prince and the Revolution, yet I took The Theory of Evolution. So we're 1-1.
Yes.
And you had one you wanted to get to regarding your family, I understand.
Yes, a crazed mongoose,
Okay.
versus my dad.
Your dad, easy.
My dad, no, dude, a mongoose would kill my father.
No, your dad is tough. He's a big guy. He can handle a mongoose.
My dad is the total sissy. He's afraid of mice.
Oh, he's going to love hearing this back. All right. Well, I still go with your dad, but let's get, I wanted to move on to this point.
Okay.
UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar against the entire city of Oakland. Who's triumphant? Who's crestfallen? Find out on every episode of Who Would Win in a Fight on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
Is that 3 rounds or 5?
Before we found out I was fat, I was talking about something, and it was I went to the taco truck. So, which still right there with the I'm fat motif, folks. So, Karen and I went to this taco truck, and we've been to 9 different taco trucks, whatever. But this particular time, we went early enough because if you go to Daniel's late, they run out of stuff. Like I want carnitas, and they always run out of carnitas. Because that's what you know what? When you go late, that's when you have to eat cow stomach because that's what's left. As delicious as it is, as crispy as it is, when you show up at the taco truck at 1 a.m, they're like, dude, we got fucking tripa. Is that what you want? No, but I'll eat it. Cook it up. So we went early. We went at like 8 o'clock one night, and that's when he had a little buddy cart, like a little quesadilla truck that was there. And literally, it looked like in a Pixar movie where there would be like the big taco truck and then his little friend, hey, Ma! And he's, honking his high-pitched horn and making different food. But luckily, they were making quesadillas, so we didn't have to go all over the goddamn county looking for a fucking quesadilla for Karen. So I went to the taco truck, and I went to order our food, and the guy in front of me, he ordered, it looked really good. He got his tacos, and he goes, you ever been here before? Like he just wanted to make conversation. And I said, yeah, we come here all the time. And he goes, oh, man, you ever had the lengua, which is tongue? And I said, no, I haven't. I said, I've had tripa. I said, but usually I stay to El Pastor and carnitas and stuff. He goes, you got to try the lengua. And I go, oh, well, all right. I maybe I'll have. And he goes, no, I'll get you some right now. So he goes to the front. And again, I'm not scared to eat anything. I've told you that. I'll eat fucking pig ears and all sorts of shit. So he goes to the front of the thing. But what I am scared of is getting free stuff like off the truck. Like it just seems, I think it's greedy and you're like an asshole. If you're like, excuse me, can I sample the lengua? No, either you like tongue or you don't fucking like tongue. I mean, we're not here. Seriously, Daniel's Tacos is not parked on the side of the road to educate your palate. Order it and eat it. And if you like it, great. If you don't, there's a garbage can right fucking there. They're not here to try to win you over into the fucking tongue camp. So, so I feel weird about it. But sure enough, the guy, he's like, oh, and he starts talking in Spanish to the guy. And the guy goes, oh, okay. And then he gives me a plate of meat, of lengua. And I eat it. And Karen, of course, has wandered off to a quesadilla truck because their little song is playing. And she's dancing around to their little song. And she's excited because they got quesadillas and they got a little TV. And they're playing this neat little song and their horn is fun. And so Karen's, because she's a child, she goes and immediately gravitates over there. So I get the plate of tongue. And I would have shared it with Karen, although she probably wouldn't have tried it. But so I ate it. I just scooped up all of it and I ate it. And oh my God, was it great. Jesus, was it great. It just tasted like stew meat. Like when you make a really good stew and you can cut through the beef with your fork. Jesus Christ, was it good. Here's the thing. If you don't think about what tongue is, it's just tasty meat. That's all it is. It doesn't come out looking like a tongue. Like if they served it in a tongue shape, then you'd probably go, oh, fuck, I can't eat a goddamn tongue shape. But as long as it's looking like just a pile of meat, you're like, yeah, I can eat that. It could be anything. It could be a goddamn bird. It could be anything. And you'll eat it because it's still delicious because it's got garlic and fucking broth on it. Oh, it's so good. So they give me the tongue. So I eat most of it. And then I still save some because I want Karen to try it. So I go wander over into fucking, Little Havana, where my wife is dancing in circles to the fucking taco truck or the quesadilla truck and their music. And I walk up and I go, hey, you want to try this? She's like, what is it? I said, it's lengua. Because I tell her the Spanish names and she doesn't know what that is, so maybe she'll try it. And she goes, what does that mean? And I said, oh, it's really good. It tastes like stew meat. It's so good. And she goes, is it pork? I go, I think so. I'm not sure. She goes, what is it? And I go, it's tongue. And she goes, aha, I'm not eating it. And I said, come on, just try it. That's why we're here. And she's like, no, I'm here getting a quesadilla. And I said, yes, cheese and tortillas. Very exotic. So I ate the rest of the lengua. And Karen, again, my wife, I love my wife. And that's the thing is she wants to help people and be nice. So she starts talking to the guy who runs the quesadilla truck. And he's like, she's like, when do you get here? He goes, oh, we're here from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it's just after 8. And she's like, oh my gosh, did we make you stay late? And he goes, no, as long as there are people here, I will sell food and then we'll pack up and go. And she's like, you should really stay a little later because it gets pretty busy later. And I'm like, why are you telling Quesadilla Joe how to do his goddamn business? This guy, he's got a truck with a neat song and all that, and that's my wife. She's helpful. That's what she wants to do. Because she genuinely wants this guy to succeed. Like, she's rooting for him now. He's become her best friend. So then she gets the quesadilla. She goes, "Oh, Michael, they make their own tortillas here too," because they did. They made corn tortillas, but she likes flour tortillas. But she's willing to get corn quesadilla because it's fresh, whatever. And then they build it. They give it to her, and then they have a bar where you can build your own quesadilla with like lettuce and sour cream and all this stuff. And she said to the guy, she goes, "Do you have green sauce?" He goes, "Oh, we are out of green sauce." She goes, "You should have more green sauce because that's really good." And like, she's giving him again tips on how to run his business. I'm like, "Honey, get your quesadilla and let's get the fuck out of here, okay? I got to go pick up this food, and then we got to stop and get a Coke, and we still got 9 stops to make." So she's talking to Quesadilla Wilson, and there's like, a bunch of Mexican people around, and then there's the truck down the street, Daniels. It's like, I got to go get that food. So Karen gets her quesadilla, and she's all smiling. She likes the music, and then we walk over to the quesadilla truck, or the actual taco truck, and I'm waiting for my food to get made, and a man walks up. There's, like I said, there's a lot of foot traffic because there's families and stuff eating, and a guy comes walking up, just this white guy in a suit, and but his shirt's like the tie's undone and the top button is undone. So it looks like he's just gotten his day off work and he's stopping to get some tacos. Good for him. So he walks up and we're waiting by the taco truck and there's people around. He walks right. And again, I know why he picked Karen and I out. Because we're white. He decided not to talk to the Mexican people, but he went right up to me and Karen and he goes, "Hey, what's going on?" We're like, "Hey, just eating." And I go, "I'm not in line, so if you want to get in line." He goes, "Oh, no, I would never get in this line." And I go, "All right, good for you." Like, I mean... What does that even mean? I don't want to know anything about you, suit-wearing Sam. Fucking put your tie up and go home if you're not going to here to get a taco. So he's, "I would never get in this line." And I'm like, "Well, all right, fine." So we're standing there. And again, he's still like kind of hanging around, but he hasn't ordered any food. And he looks at me and Karen really solemnly, like he comes around in front of us. It was the weirdest thing. And he looks at us and he goes, "This food is really bad for you." And Karen just kind of like looks at me like she doesn't know how to process it. And I looked at him and I went, "Oh, really?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "So you're telling me that having illegal immigrants make me pork in a hubcap on the back of a rusted out pickup truck isn't good for me? Good for you." And Karen goes, "Michael," like, because I'm like, it looks like I'm going to start a fight with the guy, but I'm not. I'm just being genuinely funny. He goes, "Well, I'm just trying to help." And he walks away. And I looked at Karen and she looks at me and I just blurted laughing. She goes, why were you mean to him?" And I go, "He was a fucking weirdo. Why is he standing around and he's going to tell us that we shouldn't eat the food here?" And the fun, again, like I said, the fact that he came to us was, I know exactly why he did it. He's like, "Hey, white people, don't eat the brown people's food because it's not good for you." Because he didn't warn anybody else that it wasn't fucking good for him. Because he's like, he's like the guys in The Godfather. They're animals anyway, so let them lose their souls. Like, he doesn't... He's happy to have them drown in picante sauce and fucking die, but he tried to save, the one white couple who was out there getting food. And it's like, again, I don't need that. I understand. I know this isn't good for me. I'm eating stomach and tongue off of a truck. Believe me, you're not setting me straight, pal. I wasn't waiting for a revelation from a guy in a suit. I'm lost in my life. You know who I am? I'm like Ray Milland in The Lost Weekend, and I just find myself constantly eating meat off of moving vehicles, and I can't save myself, and thank God a guy in a suit came and fucking set me straight. It was the weirdest thing in the world. What are you doing, dude? Seriously. The only thing, it's funny, you know what I trust less than a group of illegal immigrants making me meat products off of the back of a rusted up pickup truck? Medical advice from strangers. That's what I trust less. So fucking take your sad advice walking. I should have just ordered it right. I should have gone and said, "You know what, dude, give me cabeza. I don't give a fuck what it's in. A torta or you know what? I'm just going to go to 7-Eleven and get a dog cock and go ahead and have them heat that up for me. I do not care about myself, sir. Can't you see that? I don't need you to save me from myself, okay? That's a job for me. I'm the one who needs to grab the reins and straighten out this fucking stagecoach. I don't need you and your fucking loosened tie to come around with the fucking advice that's going to save my life. Not interested. We're here because we like the food and my wife likes that song. That's it. So arrogant. Like I said, not just arrogant, but also to completely say it like quiet so the Mexican people didn't hear. What a fucking jagoff. Keep walking with your fucking navy blue silver button 9. Like literally, it looked like a captain's coat. Like I don't know if that makes any sense. That it wasn't even like a regular suit. It was a suit that has 3 buttons, but like 9 buttons, like 3 rows of 3. Did that like a captain would wear? No? Anybody? Where are you? I don't know. It was like that old timey thing that a fucking like a captain would wear, like on the Titanic, but not white. Why on the Titanic? I don't know. On a ship, but didn't they wear white on a ship? It was blue. It was blue, but it had like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 buttons, like 9 buttons. It looked like, or 6 buttons. I didn't fucking pay that much attention to his coat. I just know he had giant buttons on a blue fucking coat, and he was an arrogant cocksucker who was racist. That's right, racist. I told my wife she was bird racist because my wife feeds the birds at my house because again we're 90, and but I think but sadly I see the appeal. Like I can't make fun of her because I think it's awesome to feed the birds. I in our courtyard there's like plants, and then there's birds they'll visit, but they don't hang around. But if you put food out for them, then they hang around. You can see them from our door. And again, I'm an old man because I like to look at birds. I like to look at them outside. So my wife has, millet or whatever the fuck she has, birdseed, and we throw it out there. So the other day there was like 3 birds. And I was like, hey, let's throw some food out for the birds. She's like, nah, not those birds. I went, what? And she's like, no, because there's these doves who live by us, and they actually they have a nest in the parking garage with babies and stuff up in the top, and then they will fly into our courtyard area, and Karen wants to feed them. She's like, no, when I feed it, so the doves, I don't want the other birds to come around and eat all their food. I said, you're a bird racist. She's like, what do you mean? I said, why would you do that? Feed all the birds. It's okay. I go, dude, you dump out bags of birdseed. It's not like there's gangs of wayward, it's not a Hitchcock movie outside. If 10 birds want to eat, they can eat. And then the doves will have more than enough food. You don't want to feed certain birds? What is wrong with you? Bird racist. Oh yeah, I've had awkward interactions all the past weeks. Past week, I should say. Here's something. There's a guy in Graveyardville who I think it might be Jerry Stahl, from Permanent Midnight. I think it's a guy who's in the final throes of just about to have an intervention because I've seen this guy buy dope. But here's the best part about this guy. He doesn't leave his house to do these things. Like, people will buzz him from the front, and then he'll come downstairs, and he meets them out on the porch. He doesn't realize there's a camera, okay? I can see what's going on out front. I can see what's going on in the back, all over the parking garage. There's 5 different cameras set up so I can monitor the whole joint. Because again, and by the way, nobody knows that. I hooked them up myself. I did. What if I did that? I was in a fucking Billy Baldwin and Sliver. I can see the whole joint. No, but there's a thing. So I can see who's out there buzzing to get in and stuff. So I have a general idea because I'm, faux security. And I actually made air quotes when I said that, folks. I don't know fucking why. But yeah, so I've seen him come downstairs, and we have people that deliver dope. You know what I mean? That from dope places out here, and so he'll go pick up his dope. And I know he's buying. That's what he's buying because he's not getting pizza or anything. And it also because the guy who's helping him's all shifty-eyed and looking around and slips it out of his coat, and then they do the sideways glance and they shake hands with the money in it like he's trying to get a good table from a maitre d'. I mean, it's awful. If you're buying dope, have it out in the fucking open. Wear a fucking I love dope shirt and go downstairs with a bong. I do that. Because if I'm buying dope and they're delivering, I would want to sample it. Wouldn't you want to sample it? What if they bring in fake dope? That would suck. I don't know how dope works. I just like saying dope apparently. Because I don't like saying pot. Pot sounds like all of a sudden it's like 1971, and I'm in Chicago yelling at cops. I'm like, pot should be legalized. Shut up. So I say dope because I don't want to say marijuana. Dope is fun. Dope's fine to say. I don't know. You guys are fucking stoners. Tell me what I should say. All right. I don't know if you are stoners really. Why would I accuse you of that? I should call my mom. My mom calls it dope. There you go. Done. All right. So my mom is the authority because she's been smoking it since it was fucking invented by Betsy Ross and whoever. All right. Yeah. It's what's that from Clerks, or it's from one of those movies where it's Jay and Silent Bob, and he's like, yo, Betsy Ross used to get high on that shit, yo, and so that's always stuck with me that she invented it somehow. I mentioned Betsy Ross a bunch. Didn't I ever blow on George Washington once? I don't know. I'm sure someone will write me because that last week after I told the softball story, like some people were very nice and they were like, "Dude, you told that the first season." I'm like, "I'm old, man. Again, I like watching birds." So this guy comes down and he picks up the dope, but then I can always tell when it's not from the actual like the dope store, because it'll be like just a dealer guy, like a junkie guy, and he's got a cane and a fur coat. No, he doesn't. But he'll buzz the guy, and you can actually hear them outside, and he's like, "Well, and I also this might not be dope. So, you know what? Hold on, I just figured that out, because when he's getting dope delivered from the dope guys, he knows exactly what he's getting, and he gives them from the Dope Man. Like, I want to say Dope Man because NWA has a great Dope Man song. Dope Man, you fuck that shit. So suck this, bitch. That's right, NWA, buddy. That's Nuns with Attitude, I think it was called. Niggas with Attitude. So, what was I going to say? Oh, so... Dope Man. So the Dope Man comes. So here's the thing. This is what I figured out. I have a revelation as I touch your shin. When he buys the dope, he only gives the money and he takes the package and then there's no haggling. But then there are other guys who come and he'll be like, he's like, yeah, I need, what do you got? And the guy will be like, well, do you need an ounce? He's like, well, I need an eighth. And I can hear them negotiating outside the door. Maybe that's not dope. Maybe that's, maybe he's bumping up to the harder stuff, as my friend Jimmy Pardo would say. Maybe maybe that's Coke or hold on, H. I just wanted to say H. Yeah, it could be heroin. It could be some black tar. It could be like a little, little foil ball. I don't know what it is, but then when he's negotiating with, wow, this guy's life's falling apart faster than I thought it was. Because not only does he get, here's the thing, not only does he get the dope delivered to him, and now, as we've all learned now, the guy's on heroin. As he negotiates at the door with the guy an eighth and an ounce and a whatever the fuck, and he never said the word gear. Like, maybe I should say that to him. Hey, you got any gear? I should try to sniff it out. Because here's the thing. Because here's the thing. I try to investigate, because I'm nosy. Again, I'm a snoop, folks. So when the guy will come in, I always want him to know that I know what's going on. So I'll be like, everything go okay out there? He'd be like, yeah, that's good. And then, I should tell you, this is the most nondescript fucking button shirt, polo shirt, boat shoes, Bass Weegens, fucking bald spot, middle-aged white guy you'll ever see. And that's why I say it's Jerry Stahl from Permanent Midnight. It's just like some guy who's in the throes of a fucking crisis. Because not only does he have the Dope Man visit, and now as we've all learned, the heroin guy's coming by. This guy, because I work 4 days a week. I would say once every 2 weeks, this guy gets hookers to show up at his place. And I know they're hookers because they show up at 1:30 in the morning. They're always different. They're incredibly hot. At least I think they're incredibly hot, because here's another reason I know that they're hookers. You can barely see them through the perfume fog that they travel in. Oh my! Because I got to figure that hookers, since they're going around banging a bunch of dudes, they don't get times to shower, so they fucking whores bath it and then cover themselves in fucking Angeli or whatever the fuck. So they. Isn't that bring home in a bacon and fried up in a pan? Yes, it is. And that was the one that came to mind, because I didn't want to say a fancy perfume like my wife wears, because then it would make my wife be a whore in my mind, even though she's not. For all of my efforts. No, she will for me. Anyway, that sounds bad. But yeah, so he will get hookers who show up, and they're all like fucking hot, like to the point where. So all right, here's how horrible I am. Because they will buzz in. And I will tell you this guy is certainly no suit-wearing taco truck racist. This guy is not discriminating because black girls, Asian girls, white girls, Latina girls, this guy you know what? He likes his hookers in Neapolitan. He does not. This guy likes a variety pack. He doesn't have a steady girl. I also got to admire that. I'm like, I've never been a hooker guy. We've negotiated with them and never really closed the deal. But I like to think that if I was a hooker guy, I wouldn't be a regular, because in movies they always like regulars have a book and then hookers have a book and they always have their regular guys. And I think that would get old. Like, the whole point of having a hooker is to bang a bunch of different chicks, right? Isn't that what you're doing? Although I guess if you're a regular, that means you're kind of a relationship and you can dump all that fucking, oh, I really like you shit on her, and maybe she'd be into that. Who the fuck knows? If you find one particular one that you like, or whose pussy works different than the others, I don't know. If some chick's got like, she's doing fucking Kegels while you're inside of her and you're like, whoa, this is fucking crazy. You're trying to pull me in there. Oh, I'm staying. Then you're on board with that. Because we've all done that. Come on, let's face it, guys. I mean, it's not, everybody can say pussy's pussy, but then when you run into one that's different, you're like, wait a second, hold on. It's like test driving a car and going, this has got a lot more kick than I thought it would. Because we've all driven cars. You drive a bunch of cars, but then eventually you climb into a fucking Jaguar and you go, holy shit, this is different than the other cars. And those are the girls that are fucking selling it. So, if you're looking for hookers, to me, my hooker philosophy would be fuck a different one every week if I was going to get different hookers every week, because I wouldn't want to be a regular, because then it would be like having a fucking girlfriend. Who the fuck if you want to have a girlfriend, get a fucking girlfriend. Although I understand you pay hookers to leave, that's fine. But if you're getting hookers, I go variety pack. That's what I do. I just I'm sorry, I can't mess around. I need a different scoop of a different flavor every time. So does he. So I have something in common with this guy, except I don't get hookers. But then the best is they show up, and also here's why I also know they're hookers. Again, not only are they hot and dressed provocatively and covered in like a pig pen from Peanuts variety perfume mist that doesn't leave the rest of the night. They'll get there at 1:30. By the time I leave at 6:30 in the morning or 6 in the morning, you can still smell them. They're still there. Because also they will leave by 3. Okay, they get there at 1:30, and then fucking sure I can, by clockwork, I can be sitting there, and then I can hear the elevator go up at like 2:30, and then they're leaving. So they're like there an hour, maybe an hour and a half tops, and which I would imagine is the last half hour would be the talking and the getting dressed part, right? I don't know. Come on, you know how hookers work. So, but here's the thing: whenever the hookers come downstairs, I try not to be smug about knowing that they're hookers. But I like Vice. Okay, I'm fascinated by it. And so I almost want to say to them, hey, are you a hooker? But you can't do that, obviously. So what I'll do is I'll drop like crazy, like weird hints. So, but I always want to walk them to their car. Like, because I figure if I can walk them to their car, I can chat them up and then, maybe get them to slip. Because apparently I've got a hooker on the stand. I don't know. Why do I need to trick a hooker into telling me something? That doesn't make any sense. You would think that if just by having a chat with them, they would readily admit, they know I'm not a badge, right? They got to understand, I'm just some fucking fat schlub down at the goddamn security desk who's offering to walk into their car. I'm not going to, all of a sudden it's Law and Order and I'm Sam Waterston? That's not happening. I'm not trying to fucking corner them with their words. But apparently I think that I do, because that's what I wanted to do, is I want to walk them to their car and then be like, oh, yeah, you working? Like, I want to ask them that, you know what I mean? And but none of them, whenever I say, hey, can I walk you to your car? They're like, no. And they're very nice and cheerful. And they're like, no, I'm right out front. Thank you. And, okay, that's fine. And then they'll walk out. So I finally, because I'm tired of wondering, Sunday night, Asian girl shows up. And she gets buzzed in at 1:30, and she's like, "Oh, hi!" And she's very nice, and she goes to go upstairs, and crazy like lucite heels. I mean, just like she literally, what? If he's not getting hookers, he's calling casting agencies and saying send over actresses that are dressed like hookers, because they're wearing stack heels and zebra print, and awful. So she goes upstairs, and then I'm sitting in the room, and she finally, 2:45, elevator comes down, door opens, and this time I made sure to be up. Like, usually I'm just sitting at the desk, and I'll look up, and I'll say, hey, you want me to walk you out? And they'll go, no, thanks, I'm right here. Well, this time I was out in the lobby, and the elevator opened, and she walked out, and she goes, oh, hi. And again, I have to tell you, unfortunately, she was that crazy Asian. All right, she was like, oh, hi, how you? Like that kind of like weird, to the point where it's like, if she was a hooker, I hope he told her, hey, look, I'm going to throw in an extra 20 if you don't fucking talk. Unless that's what he was going for. And, he was upstairs and he was dressed like Hawkeye Pierce and they were playing MASH. I mean, I don't know how he works it, but maybe it was something like that where he was dressed like Joker from Full Metal Jacket, and he wanted to do, how much for $10? $10, oh, that kind of thing. And then he wants her to, give him syphilis and steal his camera. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the game they were playing. So she winds up coming downstairs. The elevator opens. She goes, oh, hi. And I said, hey, can I walk you to your car? She goes, walk to car? And I go, yeah, walk you to your car. And she continues to like walk, and she's like, yes, okay, bye-bye. And I'm like, no, let me walk you to your car. And she goes, oh, okay, yes, okay. And I go, okay. And I go to walk with her, and she goes, no, I'm good, I'm okay. Fuck this, I'm going out now at this point, because now I don't know if she, she actually could have been putting on the "Oh Charlie" act, so she didn't have to fucking talk to me. That could have been just a goof. She could be like this erudite, well-spoken woman, and then when she sees me, she's like, "Oh, hi, Charlie," and then she fucking Misaki Saki. She's that chick. So, but I mean, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not letting this fucking chop suey in a short skirt get out of my sight. So I walk over. And I'm like, I'm walking to your car. Like, I'm like insisting. I'm like, I'm walking to your car. So I walk her over, and she's like, no, I'm okay. And she opens the door, and I go up with her. She's like, no, it's okay. Ha, 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 ha. And she's like doing that, like fake laughing, like, no, ha, ha. Because I think, again, either she's putting on an act to try to get me to leave her alone. Because, and believe me, it was fucking annoying enough to where I almost abandoned the entire goddamn thing. Oh, no, ha, 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 I'm fine. And I just wanted to go, dude, I hope you get mugged. Although, quite frankly, walking with an Asian woman who's talking like that in the dark of night, I'm wondering if I'm going to hit a tripwire and get dragged into punji sticks. I mean, it's like, I might as well have been back in fucking Vietnam. Because when we're walking, all I can hear is her heels clicking, and then I'm going to say, oh, hi, bagagada, and I'm waiting for fucking, to slip into a rice paddy and get, fucking have to play Russian roulette in an hour with Christopher Walken. So, sure enough, I'm walking with her, and she's like, oh, no, it's okay. I'm fine. Thank you. I'm fine. Ha, 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 I'm okay. And I go, oh. And so I say to her, she goes, oh, you working? And I go, yeah. Are you working? Because I finally got a chance, because she opened it up. She opened up the door, baby. And she goes, oh, yeah, ha, 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 ha. And I go, no, are you working? Is that why you're here? Are you working? And she goes, no, you working? And so, unfortunately, I choose to unveil my scheme on fucking Gypsy Rose Lee. It's like, hey, Matahari, are you a hooker? That's what I should have just said. Hey, Matahari, are you a hooker? That's all I had to drop in her fucking lap. Because chances are I'm not going to offend her. Because here's the thing, folks. There's two things that are going to happen. One, I'm not going to offend her because she's going to pretend that she doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about anyway. So even if I said to her, hey, are you a hooker? She'd go, ah, ha, 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 no, Joe, no problem. Hey, I'm right here at Toyota. And then drive off, which is great. She sadly, I walk her. I'm getting to that. So either that's going to happen, or two, I'm going to completely offend her by saying, hey, are you a hooker? But so what? She's a fucking hooker. Who cares? What the fuck do I care if I fucking offend this chick? Take that. She was upstairs blowing a heroin addict fucking 5 seconds ago. Now she's going to be pissed off at me for asking what she does for a living? I don't think so. So we're walking to the car, and she's like, oh, haha, no, Joe, no, that's fine. And I go, are you working? And she goes, no, you working. And I said, are you working? And she goes, no, haha, you working. I said, no, are you on Craigslist? Is that where he found you working? And she goes, no, it's okay, ha, ha, ha. Because I'm walking with her, and she's like trying to get away from me, because I think she thinks now that I'm like a weird rapist. You know what I mean? Like, because I insisted on walking with her, and I insist on talking to her, and she can't talk, and it's like, oh, it's just we're fucking misfiring past one another. And then sure enough, finally we walk up to her car, and it's this shitbox Toyota. And she goes, oh, no, right here, Toyota, that's my car. And stupid me, all right, look. We get to the Toyota, all right? She was uncomfortable with me walking a block with her anyway, or a half a block, whatever it was, 3/4 of a block. So I should leave well enough alone. Then when I ask her if he found her on Craigslist, she pretends not to know what I'm talking about, or maybe she legitimately doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But then we get to the Toyota, and you would think at that point, folks, I would just turn on a heel and go away. I'm nothing, folks, if not a gentleman. So we get to the Toyota. She goes, oh, no, there's my car, Toyota, my car. And I go, oh, okay. And I walk over, and I go to get the door for her, to open the door and let her in the car. Well, the problem is she is trying in a hurry to get away from me. And she's weirded out by me anyway, so she doesn't know that I'm going to get the door for her. And the fact that I'm even going for the door is weird, because now it looks like I'm going to shove her in and then I'm going to get in after her. Like it's that. Because I should also tell you, she might be 5 feet tall in these stack heels. Like, I mean, she's also probably tired from walking on his back for the past 45 minutes. I mean, she is completely wobbly in these heels, and she's weirded out that I'm this close to her, because I'm right next to her, walking with her to her car, and I'm a giant compared to her. I could have snapped her fucking neck. I could have picked her up and put her in my pocket and run away. I mean, she's a tiny woman, and I'm a gigantic lummox. and I walk her to her car, and then stupid me, I go right out of hooker mode into she's a lady mode, and I go to help her into her car, and she's like, oh no, that's and she turns her back to me to put her key in the lock, and I reach for the car, and I grab a handful of ass. I grab literally, because she gets right in front of the goddamn door. Right in front of the door lock, because it's a shitbox little Toyota Corolla, not new, rusted. I mean, if she is blowing guys, heroin addicts, they're not paying very well, okay? Because she's spending it all on zebra dresses and fucking lucite heels, and certainly not on elocution lessons, because she is sitting there dropping every fucking R and turning it into an L at every chance she gets. And she goes really quick to put her keys in the door, and I go to get the door, and I fucking, because my hand's out, and again, put your hand out like you're gonna go, because it wasn't a underneath door. It was the old push button door. So my thumb is out. Literally, my thumb goes like right into her asshole. Like she almost a thumb insertion. She's got a tiny short skirt on, and I fucking bang right into her ass, man. It wasn't a cupping. It wasn't a grabbing. It wasn't a smacking. It was more like I punched her in the ass. That's exactly what I did. Reaching for the goddamn door handle. And she goes, oh, no, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Because then I'm apologizing. Because, again, I didn't want to offend her earlier. But then I'm like, who cares if I offend her? She's a hooker. But now I got a handful of ass. So now she's going to mace me in the middle. I'm security. I'm going to leave the building unmanned. And I know for a fact we got a heroin addict in there. Who knows what he's going to fucking steal? She's going to fucking put me down. She's going to fucking bust out some karate move and spin kick me in the fucking head. Ah, dude, this whole thing broke bad. All I wanted to know if she was a hooker. I could have sat at my desk and waved. But instead I tried to be a friendly guy and go, hey, why don't I walk you to your car? Again, not because I'm being friendly, but because I'm being fucking snoopy, and I want to fucking get out there and figure out what she does for a goddamn living. Why are you coming here at 1:30 in the morning? Does that guy really do heroin? Tell me about that guy. What's his apartment like? What are you like? Couldn't we get along? What are you on Craigslist? Can I find your name there? I don't fucking care. Why shouldn't I just go back and read my goddamn shit on the computer? No. Instead, I got to go outside, and I wind up with a fucking handful of Asian ass and a dirty look. You guys can get me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can get me at Facebook.com/the40yearoldboy. You guys can follow me at Twitter at Twitter.com/the40yearoldboy. You guys can also go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Hey You Guys Can Get Me At page and find all of these links and go through there. That'd be great. If you guys want to get Lily, you can follow her at Lily Von Stupp, Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, or you can follow her at Twitter.com/MNTs. Go ahead and find her there. And if you'd like to write her a note, a personal note, a special note, something that she'll read and pay a lot of attention to, go ahead and write her at Lily@burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Hey, all you fans of the 40-year-old boy. Mike's got new stuff to sell you, stuff he hopes you'll enjoy. Just what's for sale, of course we do not know. All we can tell you
is where you should go.
Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. ZAZZLE.com. What kind of stuff's for sale? We already told you we don't know. 'Cause Mike made us record this song way back in February. So we can only speculate just what Mike will try to sell you. Maybe his face on a tambourine, or his own line of gardening equipment. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. ZAZZLE.com.
Maybe his own line of high chairs.
ZAZZLE.com.
His face on your personal massager.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. Hey, Lily.
Hey, Woody.
You're the producer of said show. Who's at that show this week?
I'm hosting.
Lily Von Stupp is hosting the show. That's fantastic news. And who's dancing? Fine dancers from all over Los Angeles.
Jezebel Thunder.
Jezebel Thunders will be there. Stiletto Rica. Iona Vibrator. Penny Star Jr., Scarlet Letter.
Fuck, we got like 12.
Tons and tons of dancers will be there. That's good news. So go see that at 3 Club, Santa Monica and Vine. Is it a theme show of some sort?
It's Independence Day.
Folks, it's the 4th of July coming up. It's Independence Day. We're excited. And to declare our nation free, red, white, and blue breasts over there at the Monday Night Teas. And is there a password to get into this show?
I don't know. Should there be?
I don't know. It's the 4th of July and stuff. Shouldn't there be a fun password?
What would the password be? Sucker?
Ha ha ha. That's humorous and interesting.
You were so good last week, by the way.
In what?
Hosting.
Oh, I hosted.
On Monday.
It's been a crazy couple of weeks at the Monday Night Teas. I guess a couple of weeks ago there was a girl who got all freaked out and pissed off at Lily. And then Lily had to say to her, she's like, oh, man, you just took your clothes off for $25. Why don't you dial it back a bit? So Lily, that's how she runs her show, folks. If you go there and you get out of line, she's going to go ahead and get right in your face and tell you what's what. So that was a couple weeks ago. I don't know who it was, folks. I tried to find out, and Lily's like, I can't share that with you. I said, well, I could just go back and look at the list of names. And she's like, well, then you do that. And I said, all right, I'll be happy to do that. So I'll go and do some investigative work. I'll go ahead and get a spyglass and try to figure out who it was. But I was just at this past week's, so I was hosting there. Yeah, it was a special requested show. Someone had asked me to host that show, and then I said, okay, cool. If you're coming, I'll definitely host it. So it was great. I wound up going there and hosting, and it was wild because friends of this show, friends of the 40-year-old boy, tuned out. No doubt tuned me out. Eric Butterfield showed up, which was great. He's the patient zero of the 40-year-old boy podcast, and our friends Alfonso and Jeffrey came. That was fun to see them, and it was cool. We had a good time. So we need a password though for this coming week.
Password for 4th of
I don't know. It's a 4th of July. We don't want to say Independence. Blue? No. Fife? No. Washington? No. Who invented the world? Adams? One of these guys that discovered. Yeah, it's the founding fathers. Constitution. How about weed or dope? Hemp. There you go. Pie. Oh, there you go. Pie. Yeah, you can go like apple pie. All right, pie. All right. So you knew that all along. You let me just talk in circles.
I was going through all the things that are American.
Like hot dogs, baseball, hot dogs, and apple pie. All right.
And I went.
Baseball, hot dogs, Asian hookers, apple pie. All of those things I've punched. So yeah, pie. Pie will be the secret word. Just pie or apple pie or pie.
Just pie.
Pie. All right, so pie goes get you, and you save $2 on the admission price. And if you follow Lily at twitter.com/MNTs, you will always find out what the secret word is. You will get all sorts of notes and telling you what's going to happen, and you can see come and see Lily in her element, scolding strippers and yelling at people and putting people in their place. That'll be fun. I did it this week. I hosted, and it was great fun. I enjoyed it. I did okay. And it was so funny. Again, all right, I don't usually do it, and here's why. Because this show is all about the girls. It's not about me. It's not a comedy show, so I can't really be doing comedy there. But I do. Because that's all I do. I'll tell a story or something up top. And it's funny, I almost told the story that I just told here about me walking the girl to her car, but I figured it would be too long and need way too much setup. Because that's the thing, you have to keep it short for these people because they all, they're prisoners in a mess hall in a maximum security jail with hitting their sporks and knives going, we want the show. We want the show. Like they want just naked chicks. And I don't blame them because I want naked chicks too. So I just try to keep it short and quick. But I was still funny, and I did okay. And at intermission, a girl comes up to me, and she goes, hey, you were pretty funny. And I said, thanks. She goes, you should try to do real comedy. And I said, well, thanks. I'll consider that sometime in the future. That's nice. She goes, oh my God, did I offend you? Are you a comedian? And I said, yeah, I'm a comedian. I go, it's okay. I know what you meant. Don't worry about it. And she's like, oh, because usually when we're here, it's not funny. Like, it's funny to see someone actually be funny. And I'm like, oh, well, that's fine. She literally said that. Like, and I'm not selling out your show. Your show, like when you had Pancake Wilson, and because I went a couple of weeks ago to Lily's show, and she had the Pancake guy, the juggler, host the show, and he does what he does. All right, but I will say the Pancake thing was spectacular for because that's what that show is. The Monday Night Tease, you don't need a regular comedian hosting it. You need a variety guy. You need a guy who's going to climb out of a fucking straitjacket or flip pancakes in the air. That's what you need because it's in the vein of the show, and that's what the show should be. I like to come and do the show for Lily, as a favor, and it's fun. I'll be hosting the Tarantino show when we do that.
Yes.
We'll be doing the Tarantino shows in August, and boy, I can't wait to think of the password for those shows. Now, those tickets are on sale, right, at Brown Paper Tickets?
Yeah, there's no
ticket.
password.
I know there's no password, but at the Brown Paper Tickets now, the tickets are on sale for the Inglorious Burlesque. You can also go to ingloriousburlesque.com and find out about getting tickets or find out information about the show. But it's in August. 2 weeks? 1 week? What are we doing?
Just one.
1 week this year. So go ahead and pick up tickets for that. That'd be fun. But I worked the Monday Night Tease last week, but then I was there a couple weeks ago, and this was creepy. I didn't tell you this. Karen and I are in the back of the room. Karen actually came. And I was by the exit door, so it was kind of fun. It was like being a bouncer again. I got to stand back there and not let people outside because that's what I am. I'm a dick. And I will tell you the burlesque show. Before I get into this, let me plug. Also, let me tell you guys, don't forget about the West Side 86 Jokers. It's the Mike Schmidt fan club on Facebook. Go ahead and join the West Side 86 Jokers and find out all you can about me. And help those people there, and as they all try to make me famous somewhere. In Iowa or in Peoria or Buffalo, wherever they are. They're spreading the word of Mike. Hannah and Leanna and Casey and everybody. All right, so go join the West Side 86 Jokers. Remember that August 20th and 21st, I will be in San Francisco at the Darkroom Theater doing the 40-Year-Old Boy, Success is Not an Option, the one-man show. Still taking shape, still being written, still being created, but I can tell you this, the poster for the show is done, and by the time you hear this, I'm not going to say that. By Thursday morning, because sometimes Lily's very efficient and she gets the show up quickly, and then I will get people who are in England who actually listen to it before I even write out the email blast. Wow. And they'll write me, they'll be like, "Hey, great show," and I'm like, "Oh, how the fuck did you hear it, dude? Are you in the future?" But it's because they're in the future. So basically, as of tomorrow, like Thursday, or today, Thursday, because again, it's, as my friend Liam pointed out last week, because I sent out an email saying, server issues are delaying the show, so it won't be out till Thursday morning. And immediately Liam writes me, "It is Thursday." Thanks, Liam. Because Liam's in like Ireland or something. He's like, I don't know where the fuck he is, but wherever he is, it was Thursday. So it's Thursday somewhere, I guess is the point. But anyway, the bottom line is you'll be hearing this show and you'll be like, "Oh, Mike's talking about his poster art." Well, it will be up sometime Thursday, hopefully by whatever time, wherever you are in the world. Because I got people in Pakistan, all over the place, Ireland, Sweden, folks. The artwork will be on my website tomorrow. Okay, Thursday. I don't know what time, but it's the final poster art for the 40-Year-Old Boy, Success is Not an Option, and I hope you like it. Mex did it, of course. I didn't do it. What if I did? You know what? Literally, I grabbed the artwork reins for the actual one-man show. You know what, Mex? Stand aside. Let me go ahead and draw a stick figure and make it look interesting. All right. So please, again, August 20th and 21st at the Darkroom Theater, the 40-Year-Old Boy, Success is Not an Option. Come and see the show. Buy tickets available at Brown Paper Tickets. Want to people about the West Side 86 Jokers, Facebook. And I have no dates really coming up here. I'm still looking into getting a theater in Los Angeles to kind of workshop the show, or at least do stories from the show and get used to being on fucking stage. And because otherwise, San Francisco, our friend Lou in San Francisco wrote me and he gave me all this advice on what to do. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what the show is yet. It could be, I could come out and do a 10-minute Q&A and then run away and hide like a little child in the back room. So who knows? But come on out to the show. It's well worth your. By God, get those tickets now because you never know what'll happen. It could be a great show. It could be me running away and hiding, and you'll tell stories about it forever. All right, so. But I did the Monday Night Tease. I hosted it this week, but then I went to it last week, and this show draws weird people. I mean, like people out of the woodwork, because there's normal people, and then there's hipster people, and there's a bunch of fetish ink people, and it's an eclectic crowd, folks. Well, there's this one dude who shows up, and he's dressed like Ranger Smith from the Yogi Bear cartoon. I mean, full-on crazy Ranger outfit. I'm not even like as a goof or like maybe. I mean, he walked in and I thought, wow, only I can prevent forest fires. It's true. He comes wandering in, and I just figured that someone stole a picnic basket. I have no idea what happened, but he's wearing a full-on Ranger suit from the neck down, and he's got that hat with the big round brim. Literally, he's dressed like a fucking park ranger. And he walks in, and he's standing. He's got like jodhpurs on. Nobody owns jodhpurs. Jodhpurs, that sounds like an appetizer in an Indian restaurant, but he's fucking wearing them. So he comes in his fucking ranger outfit, his jodhpurs. I'm surprised he didn't have a riding crop or a fucking, a stun gun, and he's got the crazy hat on. So we're in the back of the room, and I'm friends with Lily Von Stubb. She's the producer. And he sees me talking to her. I don't know if he's like jealous that I'm talking to her, so he's kind of giving me the stink eye a little bit. And so Lily comes to the back, and she's like, "Hey, do me a favor, turn the lights off. When it comes time, after this song, turn the lights off, and because I'm right in the back by the dimmer switch." And I should tell you, I'm standing in the back. Karen is sitting on a stool in the back right next to me, and behind Karen is the dimmer switch. So I've got my arms around Karen, and just my arm, not my arms. Yes, I'm clinging to her like a koala bear. Because the forest ranger is there. He's making sure that we're all very safe. So I'm eating eucalyptus, clinging to my wife. Stupid. I'm like a Joey. I climb into her pants. And so she's on the stool, and I got my arm around her with my hand up near the dimmer switch. I'm waiting to turn the lights off. Okay. Well, fucking Ranger apparently decides he's going to help. So he comes over and he leans into Karen, and it looks weird. And again, the brim of his hat comes dangerously close to hitting her, because again, it's a crazy hat. But he comes over and he's like, excuse me. And he's very official. And he goes, excuse me. And he leans over Karen. He looked like he's going in for a kiss. And I've got my arm around Karen, and he slides his arm alongside, and his hand, creepy. His hand goes over my hand. Like he slides it, not just like a glancing blow, like literally as if a snake slithered over your hand. His hand made contact with me from thumb to pinky. Zip. And it slides across, and then the raindrop, and I go, hey, what are you doing? Because he's leaning like into my wife, and he slides his hand through, and he goes, I'm going to get the lights. And I go, why are you getting the lights? And he goes, well, I heard the producer say that we need to turn the lights off. I said, she told me to handle the lights. I got it. He's like, well, I'm just trying to help. Get the fuck away from me, you're trying to help. You swoop in on my wife, you touch my hand in a creepy hand touch, Ranger hand touch. I don't have any picnic baskets. I'm not fucking boo-boo. Take a fucking walk, dude. But he wanted to be a part of it because he wasn't with anybody. He's like one of those weird scenesters who's not with anyone, and he's just there, and he fucking creepily slides in, touches my hand. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I try to be cool about it, but, so I got bass in my voice, and he goes, I'm turning the lights off. Dude, fuck, I got the lights. He's like, all right, well, sorry, I'm just trying to help. And I'm not lying to you. He walks away, and he kind of like almost clicks his heels together, and he puts his hands behind his back. Standing there like he's supervising the action. Like all of a sudden now he's in a crossing guard pose with a ranger outfit. He's confusing his non-authoritative jobs. Like literally he's in a ranger outfit. Rangers have no power, and he's standing like a crossing guard. Crossing guards have no power. I'm surprised he didn't have a mall security guard badge and drive in one of those, home patrol cars so he can complete the absolute fucking quinella of having no authority whatsoever but pretending to be in charge. Jesus Christ, touch my hand into my wife. Why do I spit out this random bullshit that nobody fucking cares about? I am peddling obscenity. I am going to get a whole fucking army of you people, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to listen to me and then do nothing for an entire fucking week. I can't be trusted. Don't you people know this? It was like the Back to the Future of suck. I don't want to have a boner in somebody else's pants. I need to shoot up heroin and jog. Hey, ass fuck, are you listening to anything that I'm saying to you? Fuck, somebody's got to shut that old guy up. And I'm like, fuck you! I'm not a potato! I'm a goddamn cantaloupe! Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.